When you go to a museum, you can't smoke, number one, but you get to stare at the art, give dirty looks to the people who push past you to get a better look, and maybe even listen to an audio guide of the exhibit. But I'm guessing museum going will feel very different when our next two guests get through with it. Their BRIClab work in progress to be presented here on April 15th and 16th is called Museum. And here to tell us about their approach to performance art are writer, storyteller, and performer James Harrison Monaco. Welcome to BK Live, James.
Hey there.
And I also am happy to introduce you to composer and musician Jerome Ellis. Hey, Jerome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Yeah, this is our television debut.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
mine too.
Really? Wow. And all the rumors about it being really cold are true.
It's so cold on
It's
TV.
really cold in here.
Our hearts are
It's
warm.
freezing.
Yeah.
It's freezing. I'm wearing so many layers that you can't see. Ba-ba.
Yeah.
Movie making magic. Guys, tell us how you met and how your collaboration came about.
Sure.
Oh, whoa.
So we live here, but we are childhood friends. We both are from the wonderful town of Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Yeah.
Which isn't that interesting.
No?
But Pharrell and Timbaland and Missy Elliott are all from there.
That's
So
right.
something's in the water.
Sure.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we've been going to school together since we were little.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, like 9
really
years old.
met in college. Yeah. Jerome went to Columbia, I went to NYU.
Yeah.
And then we started making work that's like theater fused with live music,
Yeah.
fused with literary storytelling.
So you've got the words and you've got the music?
One might say historically,
Yeah.
I have had the words
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Jerome has had the music,
Gotcha. Yeah.
and that is now beginning to cross.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Wow.
both make music and we both write words
Yeah.
and say
Yeah.
The
words.
worlds have collided.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Truly, truly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this piece that's coming up is called Museum. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to jump in or?
Yeah. Museum, it's sort of it's split into two parts. There's lecture and then there's tour. And lecture uses the form of an art history lecture, and then we weave into it live music and stories about ourselves, but also stories about sultans and slaves and
Yeah. French
different
women
people,
live
yeah.
in Spain.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Jerome's time in Brazil.
Yeah.
And-
And so sometimes I'll be speaking, James will be playing music. Sometimes he'll be speaking, I'll be playing music.
So we described it earlier as this like performance art and literary and theatrical. So how do you guys describe your work then?
Totally. So we've been talking about this a lot
Yeah.
because people make what we do a very complicated thing,
Yeah.
but it's just music and storytelling, which is arguably the oldest art
Right.
form that's
Nothing new there.
ever
Okay.
existed.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
usually we just say it's storytelling and live music fused together, which nowadays people say, oh, how innovative.
Yeah.
And we're like, every culture ever has done this all the time in all places.
Just ride it.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah, you're right. We're the
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
It's tremendously
Yeah.
experimental.
No one's ever done
Yeah.
that
So which
before.
part comes first? What's the process? Do you write
Great.
something first? Does the
Very
music
good.
come first? Do
Very
you-
good question. Very good question.
We improvise a lot as far as developing material is through improv. And I think part of why people usually comment on the fact that the music and the words and the stories are so fused is it's basically we get together in a room and we do all of it at the same time, if that makes sense. It's not like one of us is composing music ahead and writing and then we're trying to fuse. We generally sit in a
do it
room,
together.
make music and talk at the same time over and over again and then form it.
So I believe we have a clip of something. You want to
clip
tell
has
us what
arrived.
we're about to
Great.
see? There is a clip of something.
Great.
Thank you.
It's 6 o'clock. Sabi must be getting off work right now. Now Sabi must be locking up his shop. Now Sabi must be turning into the neighborhood behind the shop where he lives. Now Sabi must be walking past that house that F. Scott Fitzgerald rented with his wife Zelda and where he wrote The Great Gatsby, but which they weren't able to keep because he and Zelda kept running up their debts. Sabi doesn't know that's F. Scott Fitzgerald's house, so he just walks right past it. And then in my mind's eye, I see Sabi enter the house that is his. And I see him sit down to dinner with his wife. But at some point in the dinner, his wife gets up to answer the phone to talk to one of their 2 sons who live there on Long Island near them. But Sabi doesn't join these phone conversations. Both of Sabi's sons work in finance. Finance, Sabi once said to me.
Well, I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
what came to mind listening to that and watching it was, do you guys record these and try to produce them in any other way that we can just hear them? Like, do you have a podcast? Do you have a website that these are on?
Seems like
I've
it
got
would lend
podcasts
itself.
on the brain
Sure.
because I've been listening to them now. My boyfriend's got me into them, and we listen at night, and we're like, and listening to
that's
that,
so
I was like,
cute.
I would like to listen to that
Yeah,
in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a website.
we do.
Okay.
JamesandJerome.org.
Yeah. And there's videos on there
Yeah,
of
but we should make a
things
pod.
like
it's
that.
a thing we keep saying is we should make a podcast,
Yeah.
and it keeps almost happening. So maybe it will.
But looking at this, it seems very improvisational in nature, but it's also clearly polished and like
Yeah.
you guys have it
Totally.
tight, but it still has like a fresh feeling.
Feels
Yeah.
spontaneous.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that because
good.
you work the hell out of it, or is
Yeah,
it just
we-
because that's the magic of James and Jerome?
Well, I think part of it is that my first music was jazz, and I think that something that we both value about jazz is that quality,
the ride.
Yeah.
in that it is
It
very
feels
polished,
like-
but the goal is to make it seem very playful and spontaneous. So I think we like that quality. So it is polished, but I think we leave room in both the music and the story where we can move around and not have it so rigid.
Yeah.
Waiting
Yeah.
for God to walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why it's important to have the music live and not just a track.
Makes
Right.
a difference.
You know.
So what are you going to do at BRIC House? What are
Yeah.
you bringing to the lab?
So,
We're so excited.
Yeah, it's
We're
this Project
excited to have
Museum,
you.
which
Yeah.
comes from we spend just all our time at art museums every moment we can.
Yeah.
And
On free days.
yeah, as much as we can.
Yeah.
And we were basically, it's going to be an experiment of half of it's going to feel like an art lecture, like a PowerPoint slideshow art lecture, but with
Really?
lots of live music happening at the same time. And then half of it will feel like a tour of pieces of art, except with lots of live music happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk about actual pieces of art? Like, is there going to be actual tour history
Yeah.
facts
Totally.
woven
Yeah.
in there?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
Jerome talks in one long section about a Polynesian cloth and the way that the ink of it is made, and we talk about a Rembrandt portrait, and we talk about West African cloths, and we talk about Degas prints of ballerinas, and
Yeah.
we talk about our own lives.
Yeah.
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 With beats.
With
Beats.
With
Yeah.
With
beats.
beats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was traditionally you making those beats, but now you're involved
Like
in that
fusing.
too.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Do you guys switch, like from what we just saw in that clip? Do you guys ever like you're at the mic and you're at the keyboard and then you guys run and switch?
100%.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
just dramatically jaw-dropping. People just go crazy
Some people start
when we
crying.
swap sides.
Some
Yeah,
start-
a lot of hats on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
What do you want people to walk away with?
Roses.
Like at the end of the evening, what's the takeaway feeling that you want to put them out the door with? Then, when you're done?
For me, I think we talk a lot about how so much art right now and life is about not being where you are. And I think something we love about live music and story is that there is so much value of being here, but talking about other kinds of places and people. It's like either we are somewhere else or we're thinking about ourselves. I feel like what we like is
Yeah.
when people, I want to be here and I want to talk about people far away from different times with lives they don't know about, but to like sitting in a room and telling stories to each other
Yeah.
is the feeling I want.
Yeah.
Who knows what you want?
I also want that. Yes. We want the same things, in fact.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's.
It's a
Continue our
happy
collaboration.
collaboration.
And I think that translates very well into the art museum because it is a place where you can be very, very present with a singular object. Because another thing that I think we've noticed is that if you look at a painting nowadays, it can often be something that's been printed and you see it everywhere. You can see it on your phone, you can see it on the website, everywhere. Yeah. But when you're in the museum, there's only one copy of this sculpture. And that is a moment that is special, I think. Yeah. That I'm here, you are here. There's only one of me, and there's only one of you, and we're just here together.
Well, we can have some of those special moments right here at BRIC House when you guys have your BRIClab residency, April
15th and 16th, Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
All right, Friday and Saturday, April 15th and 16th. You can check our website for tickets at bricartsmedia.org and get yourself in the room.
That's right. James and Jerome, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
Thanks,
us.
guys.